Hello, this is Boris Merchant. This is the activity for the text analysis of foregrounds, background, and point of view. I'm gonna read a text. This is from Echelon by Chris Hopkins. This text is the last paragraph of a story. So it's Catherine blinked. She was lying on the fetal position on the deck of the ferry, cradling her arm. The sun was setting, watching the cloudy horizon in vast shades of violet, rose, pink, and gray. She stared at the rolling ocean, a azure streak with threads of gold. Around her, all the tourists were curled into the fetal position, some shuddering, some crying, most resting peacefully, and all unconscious. Next to Catherine lay Melissa, held in echelon by her mother. Catherine stood and returned to the tarnished railing. On the horizon, a fountain of spray appeared as she and Captain tipped their arm. Watching her mother ashes soften, then disappear into the waves. So for this text analysis, uh, I'm gonna ask the questions for foreground, backgrounds, and point of view analysis. So the first question is, who and what stands out, what people and events. Well, Catherine and her mother are the most prominent focus of the story since the text shows her suffering, Catherine's suffering, and drama closely because all the time we can see the phrases like lying in fetal position, studying the rolling ocean. Her presence and movements stand out from the background. So the most important part and the focus is Catherine and her mother ashes. The second question is, whose point of view and which perspective seems to be preferred? Um, to me, it seems to be the narrator point of view preferred because within the text we can easily follow like a pattern of events and detailed phrases like watching the cloudy horizon in vast shades of violet, pink, and gray. So all the details specify the narrator's point of view. The third question is, how do foreground background relations change over the course of the text? Um, so I think that the background characters, in this case the tourists, are not ignored since we can see like a switching point of view showing their agony because they are crying and being unconscious on the deck of the ferry, as well as Catherine. So making like all of this makes like merging the foreground and the background. So everything comes together for the story. And finally, the third question is there anything which you will actively like to direct attention to? In my point of view, I would like to direct attention to the context of the background, since the other characters, in this case the tourists, are suffering the same pain and being on the floor unconscious. We can ask questions like, is the ferry a ferry just for that specific purpose, or are just the other people feeling or move because of her loss? That way they show the same feelings, you know. If we apply all these questions between the foreground and the background, we can give a different perspective or position. That way everyone can have a different point of view. Thank you so much.